Hello everyone, and I have another Smite video for you all today. This time, I've been playing quite a lot of gods this past month well, pretty much since October's ending. I've been playing some gods that I haven't really ever played before, some gods that I didn't really have any interest in, and kind of have been learning something else other than the primarily two roles that I normally play, which is usually Hunter or Guardian. So I've been kind of moving over into the Assassin and Mage realm more, and as you can see currently on the screen, I've been playing, or as of before he was nerfed, I played a lot of Susanoo O, and this was an assassin that I did have a lot of fun with. I did make a video talking about the build that I make with him and how I felt how effective it was at the time period. And I feel like he's still an okay god, but since the nerf, he just doesn't seem as potent. He doesn't seem to put out the damage that he used to before. He doesn't seem to. I wouldn't even say the damage. It's just they kind of moved the damage over the stat wise, and they made it so that his swings on his first ability are a lot slower, so it just takes a lot longer for things to work now, and he just seems clunkier than he did before. So he's still a good god, but he is very peculiar, and he has a very interesting way to play him. He's still very fun, so maybe I'll pick him up in the future. We'll see. I'm enjoying playing a bunch of other gods right now. Currently I have moved on from Susanoo O, and I've been playing the new god, Camazotz. I think he's pretty fun. One downside I have to him, though, is I feel like he's only good in certain game modes. I cannot play him in Joust for the life of me. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. But if I do play him in Joust, I will probably get scrubbed. Or, I can't even think of the right word. I will get... Usually I have a friend that says scraped a lot. I will get pretty much destroyed in a lot of situations. Just because it seems like everyone else has better luck with him in Joust compared to me. It just seems like I'm kind of just there, just doing whatever it is that I do majority of the time. And then in other games, I'll just kind of just be there and I'll feed. It really sucks. So I usually only strictly play him in Conquest. I have played him probably a game or two in Siege, maybe here and there. I think he's a good pick in any mode, really, especially in Arena, just because his early game damage pretty much almost topples anyone that I've gone against, and it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty sure, actually, yeah, it is accurate. The first game that I actually ever had with him, and I think I recorded it if I'm not mistaken, I went 18-2 with him. My first game, the first day that he came out in Arena, and I thought that was absolutely insane, just because it just shows how potent and how like damaging is to know that if you know how to play an assassin to some degree, you know how to play the game to some degree, you get a hold of the type of playstyle he has, since he is very, very ability based. That if you have a decent team and you guys know what you're doing, you can pretty much handle the situation without having to worry too much about exactly what's going on. You just got to make sure that you land your attacks and do just fine. So I think that he's hella fun, and especially since I've been playing Susanoo O, I feel like their playstyles are very much sort of similar, except for the fact that Susanoo O is extremely fast compared to him, and Camazotz is very slow. His jump does not go very far, but his damage is very there, so he easily makes up for it in that category and in that side of the spectrum. But I build him basically just full pen, just because it just seems like that is very, very potent. I feel like crit isn't really a thing in the meta now. I don't know why. I guess I haven't used crit in a really long time. I think I only use crit on probably maybe three or four people in the game. For sure, I definitely use crit on Artemis, just because that's babe, and I will always play as her just because she's my most played god in the game. But Uller is actually coming up on that. Speaking of that, I happen to be working on another Uller video, but again, it's just another character that I build ability based, and it's kind of interesting that I've been playing a lot of characters that seem to be ability based more than attack based, just because, or attack speed or auto attacks, because I used to play a lot of auto attack gods. That used to be my thing for a very long time when I first started Smite. Was I just played auto attack gods pretty much. I only played Artemis for a good week or two maybe when I first started playing the game, and I stuck to her for a while, and then I started moving on to other hunters. Maybe I think I did actually play Shibalanke. I didn't really play much Guardians until later on down the line, but it just seems like if you're good with your aim, ability characters are a lot of fun, and I really do enjoy them. I do play Thanatos sort of ability based, where I make sure that I have a lot of pen, and I changed up the build a little bit. I'll get kin size here and there, and then I'll get like a defense item just to see, again, completely depends, in my opinion, on who I'm going against, and to make sure that they on the enemy team aren't really outputting as much damage as, you know, said person that I'm going against, just to make sure that I can live through a lot of situations. But he is getting I wouldn't say a pretty significant buff, but he is getting a buff Tuesday, so we will see that very, very soon. And of course I'll make another video covering the patch notes, because I really do enjoy to bring these little patch note overviews every 3 weeks. Yeah, every 3 weeks, just because there's a good amount. I wouldn't say a good amount, but there's some people that I know that don't really keep up with the patch notes. So I just like to make sure that if anyone doesn't really know, and if anyone is not really caught up with what's going on, to hopefully bring into light what might be missed or what not might be taken. And look at Agni. You'll see him a little bit later. But that seems to be something that I have to eventually. I think, oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I got a little confused there. Anyways, you just saw my friend completely annihilate somebody. That is an example of Odin. I don't play Odin. That's another god that I feel like I rarely really play just because of his playstyle. I seem to be very restricted to the certain gods that I play. I do like playing warriors. I don't seem to play warriors very often. I played a lot of Raven and a lot of Bologna. Of course, I did play Raven to the point where I got him Diamond. I used to make a lot of videos playing as Raven, and I used to enjoy it. I used to think that he was a super fun god, and I still think he's very potent in a lot of fights, but he doesn't seem to be as potent as he should be, and that's perfectly fine. I don't know, that's probably just my playstyle has changed, and the people I play have changed. Of course, mostly I say that because I used to try to play Uller as much as I wanted to. I used to really try to get this guy's playstyle down. I used to try to see what build I used to try to use with him to see what I can do, because I felt like I just wasn't doing what I wanted to do, but eventually I got the hang of it. I felt like, and I learned that I feel like ability based is the way to go. If you build a model attack, that's perfectly fine. Do whatever the hell that you want. But in my opinion, I feel that ability based Uller is the way to go, just because he just hits so hard. And if you snowball, man, it's a mess, man. I'll say this much. I had one, probably the best game I've ever had with him, and I went 25-2 in a Clash game. Absolutely sort of upset because I contemplated recording right before that game. But knowing myself, if I recorded before that game, I probably would have landslided, and that match wouldn't have ever happened because I get nervous when I record. So a lot of the videos I get when I record are usually little clips that I get without paying attention or don't realize that I'm recording. It's kind of like a off the radar type of thing, and I gotta get rid of that habit. Anyways, Agni is another guy that I've been playing lately a lot, and he is a guy that I've been wanting to play for some time, but I haven't really got into him, I feel like, just because I have this very, very weird habit of I like playing gods, but I feel like certain gods I can only play if I feel like they look cool to play or interesting or their kit is interesting. So for Agni, I thought he was okay, but I didn't like his voice pack and his original skin, things like that. It sounds very stupid, but I know a lot of people like that, actually. It's pretty interesting. And I just enjoy this skin. I think it's gorgeous. I think this is one of the best skins that they've come out with all year, and he's definitely a god that I've been playing basically on and off of Uller. I've just been playing him and Uller for the past... It feels like 2 weeks already since the patch came out, and I think he's a very strong god. My build is a little weird, as you see on the screen. I do rush damage. I try to get as much as I can, just because I feel like early game, if you do rush it a bit, he does hurt, and you do not want to wait until late game with this guy, because sure, it's a good idea and it will help, but in the long run, it's not going to be a very good idea, because it will probably backfire on you, and it might not be as potent as you want it to be. So it is a very good idea to, in my opinion, if in certain modes, if you can definitely do it, and if it's, you know, what's the word for it? You can do it without risking the team, or without risking your life in most situations, I definitely say that you should just buy Bancrofts and then Ratatouille first item, or second and third item. It will help. It's extremely potent. But I hope you enjoyed the little video for today, and I hope it was informative. Take care.
Do you think you'll